urgency. Well, our reporter Hope Webb is here with all of the details. And Hope, what are the key findings of this report?
Yeah, so like you say, last night we did bring you the stories of those two women with two different experiences, one of miscarriage and one of stillbirth. Now, they raised major concerns about what they believe to be what was a gap in their care when it came to their mental health before and after their harrowing experiences. Now, we heard from them before the publishing of this report from the Health and Social Care Committee, which has now been made public. I have it here in front of me with its list of key findings and recommendations. Now, overall, looking at it, it says there is no specialised care in Scotland that deals exclusively with birth trauma, that phrase that we keep using. And I think it's important to state that birth trauma can range all the way from, like we say, miscarriage and stillbirth to just difficulties during labour, during pregnancy, and it can lead to conditions such as post-stress traumatic disorder. And you know, one of the key recommendations in this report is a call for urgent action to establish dedicated baby loss units across the country, and that would really streamline and create a more specific support network for women and families. Now, during the inquiry, the committee also received evidence of women who had lost their babies being treated nearby to women who had delivered healthy babies. Now, as you can imagine, that has a devastating impact on anyone that has to go through that experience. So it's hoped that that can also be looked at. And the report also highlights the importance of localised support and says that there is a strong need for a mother and baby unit to be established in the north of the country, where we've had many experiences of women having to travel miles, many miles, to access care. Now, there is a lot to digest in this. It goes on and goes further. But it has been welcomed today by those fighting for change, those that have been fighting for these types of recommendation for a long time, such as the charity Maternal Mental Health Scotland. And I sat down with their chair, Joanne Smead.
So what can we expect from this report, Hope? Where does it lead?
Yeah, so the Scottish Government has now said it's going to take time to fully consider these comments and recommendations from this report. It has already invested £16 million in perinatal and infant mental health since the year 2019. Now, one of the points in this report that could be looked at sooner rather than later is the waiting time that people have to wait for mental health support. The goal is that that should be no longer than 6 weeks. So we can expect that to be looked at. And it's also hope that further training of healthcare staff can help them spot the signs of those women and families that need that extra bit of support and maybe point them in the direction of that. But the committee has been pretty clear with its findings. It says this gap in care must be dealt with as a matter of urgency.
Hope, thank you very much for that detail.
Right, to Northern Ireland now, and the police watchdog there has found evidence of what it's described as collusive behaviour by officers.